Hello and welcome to this video. Today we're going to be looking at ST stacking. So ST stacking is a method in Tetris for getting a very high score, and the basic reason why you're going to be getting such a high score is because you're just going to be playing and getting Tetrises and T-spin doubles, and they're the only two ways you're going to be clearing lines here, and you're going to be pulling it off consistently and hopefully quite quickly. And by doing this, the game awards you as many points as it does for a Tetris as it does for a T-spin double. So that is, a T-spin double looks like this. Let me see if I can set up a quick one here. So a T-spin double looks like this. So you put your T piece down and you turn it in and you clear two lines. And you can see in this version of Tetris, this is in null pomino, it says at the bottom T double. So that was a T-spin double, and you can see how many points we got. We got 1200 points. And that, I believe, is how many you would get for a Tetris. And there's another interesting mechanic as well in this game, is the back-to-back Tetris or back-to-back T-spin mechanic, which is in a lot of Tetris games. And what happens is if you get multiple T-spins, so if you clear some lines using a T-spin, you stack some more blocks, but you don't clear any lines until your next T-spin, then it will give you a back-to-back bonus. And I forget exactly how the bonuses work, but I believe that if you're, say, playing on a battle, then the game will firstly send 4 lines worth of garbage to your opponent, if that makes sense to you. It will send 4 lines for your first T-spin double, so as if you had done a Tetris, and then for each subsequent T-spin double it will send 6 lines, which is exactly the same as if you just did Tetrises. So the reason why you want to do T-spin doubles is because you're having to stack up fewer lines, and when you stack up fewer lines, that means you're using fewer pieces. So that means you'll be doing it faster. Maybe not to begin with, because you have to think about a lot of your plays. I still have to think about a lot of my plays when I'm trying to do the ST stacking. So let's get into it. Let's see what ST stacking looks like. Let's see if I can do this first try here. Alright. Yeah, I think this is a cool setup. Ooh. Do I really mean this? Oh dear. I thought I could be fancy there. I couldn't be fancy though. Oh no. Okay, let's try something I know a little bit better. I'm pretty sure I can play like this, and this should be fine. Yes. Okay, and then so that was the initial setup there. We started out doing some certain things, which I'll get onto, and now comes to the stage where I start getting loads and loads of Tetrises and T-spin doubles. Fingers crossed. Okay, here we go. So this is what this bit looks like. Oh dear, no, I misplaced the piece. Let me try. Okay, so anyway, you have to, I'll probably get onto it later, but let's get on to actually doing some the initial setup for ST stacking. So what you want to do to begin with when you're ST stacking is think about the grid in the following way. Think about it being divided into 3 sections. So here it's these 4 columns on the left hand side of your matrix. Think about that as one section, the next 3 columns is another section, and the right hand 3 columns is the third section. And each of these 3 sections has a specific role. So on the left hand side of your screen, those 4 columns are just for stacking up. They serve no other purpose, just for placing your blocks. And the nice thing is that the blocks you'll be placing there will fit together quite nicely. You won't have to deal with any T pieces, Z pieces or S pieces usually. Maybe the odd S piece, but that's about it. Your middle 3 columns are all about creating these kinds of shapes. I'll show you an example. So this is the kind of shape right here. It's a 3x3 square with a notch missing out of either the bottom right or top right hand corner. And what this is for the notch allows you to do the T-spin double, and the rest of it is just for filling in. So the reason why this is good is because if you separate these 3 columns out, then it gives you a nice way of getting rid of certain blocks, and also you'll be able to calculate a lot faster because you can just see a pair of blocks and go, I know these 2 blocks will form a 3x3 chunk with a bit missing, and you can automatically know how you're going to deal with those 2 blocks, and just think about what you're going to be doing on the other parts of your screen. And the final part of your screen is these 3 columns on the right hand side, and they're just for placing your S, or well, in this case we're doing Z pieces, so technically this is a ZT stacking tutorial, but we'll call it ST stacking because that's what it's normally called. And so in the opening phase of the game, what you want to do is you want to prepare yourself you want to get yourself in a position where you'll just be able to do these things. You'll just be able to place blocks correctly in those 3 parts of the screen, and just get lots of T-spins whenever the T-piece comes up. So I'll just show you how this kind of plays out. So at the beginning, you'll want to dump 2 T-pieces on the left hand side of your screen. You also want to dump one Z piece somewhere on the left hand side of the screen as well. So let's try and do this now together. I'm going to put this one here. I'll put 1 T piece. We'll need another one, and there we go. So what I've done here, I'll put this Z piece here because that's where it goes. So what I've done here is before I've made my first 3x3 block with a notch missing, I've placed a square piece and 2 blocks next to that square piece on the left hand side of it. So what this is doing is it's just preparing ourselves so that whenever I make a 3x3 block with a 3x3 chunk with a block missing, I want that block to be missing from the bottom right hand corner. I also need to get the next T piece on another T piece on the left hand side, and I noticed that there are some number of blocks I have to wait before I'm getting this T piece. But I notice a few things. I notice first of all that I have a red Z piece in my hold, and there's a blue piece coming up, and I know those 2 conform together to make a 3x3 chunk. And I also know that the orange piece and the green piece can form a nice 3x3 chunk as well. So I'm gonna make 2 more chunks in the center, and then we'll get our T piece and we'll be ready to start ST stacking. So I will do this now, and we'll see what so those were the 2 chunks I was talking about. We have a red and a blue together to form that chunk, and a green and an orange together to form that chunk. And I've got to my T piece. So let's put this down. You always want your T pieces to be locking together. In a previous video I talked about parity, so we really want to avoid parity issues here. So this is why we have the T pieces locking together. So we put it here, and I'm just going to stack up a little bit more on this side, and I think I'm ready to do my first T-spin, so let's put this piece here, I guess. Let's go, T-spin. Yay! And once you've done your first T-spin, you know you're out of the opening stages, so you should have everything set up to keep going. You want to try and keep your left-hand columns, your 4-wide column for dumping all of your extra pieces, and your 3-wide column in the middle for your blocks with a piece missing. You want to try and keep those fairly level, because sometimes you might encounter situations where you want to maybe cross over. There are certain builds that allow you to get out of problems that you might have with certain pieces coming up in certain orders. Okay, and whenever you get a Z piece, you'll want to place it on the right hand side almost immediately without thinking. Oh, okay, so we got a T piece, so we can do another T-spin. Okay, and we got a Z piece, so we'll put it here. And okay, we got another T-spin going on. And I'm thinking about a couple of things now. Because I'm not so experienced with the T-spin, this ST stacking, I always don't build it up so high. And I recommend this to begin with. When you're getting used to all the builds and all of the starting setups you can go with, I'm going to link some helpful pages in the description. When you're getting used to them, I think it's a good idea to start kind of keeping it quite low. Once you get better, you want to build up quite high, because the most time-consuming part of ST stacking is the soft dropping the T-piece. And when you're soft dropping the T-piece, you just have to wait around until it goes all the way down. So the less time you can wait, the more points you can be getting. So if you want to wait less time, then you have to build it up higher, because then your soft drop distance is lower, is shorter even. So that can be a time save once you start getting good at the ST stacking. Okay, the other thing I'm thinking about is if I want to put my eyepieces in the right hand column, and this is the next thing we need to talk about, which is what happens when you're getting too high. So when your matrix is getting filled up, you'll need to downstack, and the way you do that is to do Tetrises, because really if you just keep doing these T-spins, then your matrix is eventually going to get to the top, because you don't have enough T-pieces to get you through. You don't have enough T-pieces to get rid of lines faster than the pieces are coming in. You only get one T-piece per 7 pieces, and if you do the maths on that, it's not too difficult maths. You know that 2 lines are 20 blocks, but 7 pieces are 28 blocks, so you're going to be getting 8 more blocks filled up each bag that goes through. So you'll need to do Tetrises. So let's see what that looks like. How do we do Tetrises? I'm going to just try and show that off right now, although I'm really not sure if I'm in a position to do that. Okay, so I'll put this one here, and I'm really not sure what to do with my pieces. I'm getting a bit stuck here, so I'll do one more. But the idea is that you want to try and not use your eyepieces on the left hand side for a couple of bags, and use the eyepieces you get on the right hand side of your screen to create a Tetris. And if you go through 2 bags of pieces, so that's 14 pieces, then and you do a Tetris, then that's gonna bring you down, if you can do the maths yourself on that one, to and you can see how much further down the screen you'll be going. And it's actually quite quick. If you do just a couple of Tetrises, you'll pretty much be at the bottom again. Wow, I'm really stuck here. So I'm going to stop there. I think I lose there. So I think that's pretty much it. One of the builds that I quite like doing, and I'll see if I can get a bag where that's happening. Yes, I think this is a good bag to show it off, is this kind of setup here. I find it's very useful when you're starting out. This is called, I think it's called the I-spin setup, where you create this setup over here on the left hand side of the screen with the T piece and the blue piece, and you'll just want to soft drop an I piece in here, spin it, and it comes down, and you'll put another I piece vertically. I find this is a really good way to organize your pieces. Alright, let's do this. I think we're starting off pretty well here. Yeah, I'm happy with this start. Sometimes I'm not sure what to do with my rogue eye pieces. Note that you don't want to be placing eyepieces when when it will stop you from getting your T-spin off. And sometimes you can use your Z pieces on the left hand side of your screen, but I don't advise it. I don't think this was a good choice by me here. Here we go, let's do a Tetris, there we go, and we've down stacked a whole bunch. And the reason why you don't want to be using two Z pieces in your setup on the left hand side of your screen is because you might end up having to hold a T piece for a very long time, and this stops you from maybe holding another piece that could be problematic to your setup. So here I'm really not sure what to do, and I think it's just game because I can't see a way to deal with this problem. Maybe this deals with it. I'd be impressed if this deals with it. Yeah, I think that I've just about survived here until that piece comes along. No, we're good. We're good. Yes, we just about survived. Sometimes you can, after a while you can start doing your own things with the ST stacking, but okay, this is a very messy setup here. Oh, it's not even a setup, it's just loading. Anyway, I hope you got something out of this video on ST stacking, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you around. Bye.